Hey everyone, this is going to be a tutorial on how to speedrun Mega Man Legends on easy mode. So this category has gotten more popular over the years because it's a nice one to learn when you're first getting into the game. You want to finally do some runs without having to, dig through the mountains of information, doing tons of practice on how to just finally speedrun the game on normal. So yeah, it's a nice category if you want to just get your feet wet. And before I get into actually, going over the tutorial and everything, I made a video a few years ago of how to improve at speedrunning Mega Man Legends, and not everything in that video will apply here because easy mode has a lot less fundamental stuff to go over, but I still recommend watching it anyway. I'll probably put it in the description. It's pretty useful to watch that first before digging into any tutorials. But yeah, speaking of, so you want to go to the difficulty selection here, and pink is normal on Japanese. If you're on English, obviously you can read it, but Japanese, pink is normal, hard is green, and easy is orange. And you unlock easy mode by either beating hard or by beating normal in under, I think it was 3 hours in-game time. So yeah, the orange one is easy mode. So let's go ahead and get into learning how to do the speedrun. Alright, so let's begin. Right at the beginning here, there's a little bit of tech. Very simple. I'll make a save state here. So normally when you hold forward, you're going to get stopped by the text box here. But you can actually just jump right through it for some free movement when you're normally supposed to stop. So what I do is during the cutscene, that black screen, I hold forward, and as soon as I hear Mega Man's first footstep, I jump, and I land roughly around here when you're normally supposed to be stopped back here. So I'll show you. Hold forward, jump, I land here instead of back there. So there's going to be, you just see this a handful of times throughout the game, especially in the intro dungeon here. So press no, cancel, whatever. Go to your menu, go down to your buster parts first, which is down twice in Japanese. And you want to put on your buster max. And instead of backing out all the way with a bunch of inputs, just press L1 to go to your special items, put on your skates, and then back out. It's faster to do buster parts first because there's more inputs required to back all the way out. So do buster parts first, L1 to your special items, and boom, done. Takes you about a third of a second. So skate forward, turn these next two corners, and on the second corner, just stop skating early. You'll end up right in front of the door. Now this door right here, I want to save state. There's another instance of having to jump through a text box. So normally you open the door, it stops you right around here. But if you jump, wait until the door is all the way open, right? Because if you try to jump, that's going to happen. You're going to bonk your head and get blocked. So wait until the door is all the way open and then jump through it. And then run to the next door. Don't skate, just run. And then same here, just run. Jump to the ledge, keep running. And right around the middle of this tiny hallway, I'll save state, right in the middle, it stops you again. So you want to just jump right around there, more free movement. And then skate around the corners. Alright, so that's something I need to go over real quick. Let me load that save state. So if you let go of circle, let go of your skate right before a mandatory stop, like the ones we've been jumping through, sometimes if you time it right, you just go further with your skates. So I'll see if I can give you a more detailed example. So let's say I'll make the save state right here. So if I hold diagonal right here, see where I stopped? Now if I let go of circle at the right time, it's kind of tough. You go further by a little bit extra. It's kind of tough to really demonstrate, but if you do it enough times, enough attempts, you'll start to see it. You start going like much further. Like the difference right there specifically was subtle, but if you do it towards the boss door, it's much more obvious. But anyway, let's keep going. So you're normally supposed to shoot these down, but if you go too far forward, you might hit the ledge like right here. Because the auto aim likes to just pull your shots. I'll show you. I'll save state roughly right here. So if you're back this far, that's plenty. But if you go too far forward, I think it's maybe about this much. something like that. You can go too far forward, but either way, you can kind of just run in here and, you know, you can see that one already in your vision, and then you turn a little bit, shoot this one. And once you shoot both of them down, you turn to the right, skate again, and then we're going through the boss door. So the boss is very simple. Hold square and forward. That easy. Boom, done. So skipped cutscenes. Got a couple more. And you're going to gain control immediately after skipping the next one. So hold right, skip, and then quick turn. So you want to skate, you want to stop skating just before these cutscene triggers, because otherwise, what it does is it waits until Mega Man is fully, you know, stopped in place, sitting in idle position, and then it triggers, right? So if you skate through there at full speed, it's going to wait for you to stop, and then it finally activates. So you want to stop skating a little bit before the trigger zone. Anyway, skip. Talk to Gramps, skip. We're going to head all the way to Apple Market. You can kind of go behind the trees like this. It's optional, but it is optimal. We're going to the junk shop. Hopefully no NPCs get in your way. So hold circle or C down if you're on 64. Say yes. Alright, let's save state right here. So this can be a little bit tricky depending on how you do this, because you normally want to quick turn immediately and just skate toward the south door, right? But if you do it wrong, like say you hold left for too long, or like you're just, whatever, you make a mistake, right? You might get too close to this box and interact with it instead of trying to actually skate. So what you can do is hold left and just mash the heck out of your quick turn button, and then you'll be able to skate. But if you want to just not fiddle around with the box, not worry about no shenanigans, just go diagonally up left for like a step or so, and then quick turn, and then you're out of the way of everything. And we're going to head right into this little small dungeon over here. The mandatory side quest. Now, if you're familiar with how this category is as a speedrun, I've seen speedruns maybe, there's a big trick you can do in here. We call it mine skip, because you're skipping the splash mines, and it saves a big chunk of time, but the trick is very difficult, very RNG heavy. So for now, I'm not going to go over it. I'm just going to go over how you do this section of the game normally. In a bonus video after the tutorial's done, I'll show you how to actually do this trick, because I don't think a new player should struggle with this and deal with it this early on. Just get your runs done, and then go for that later. Alright, so here we go with Snake Pit, as we call it. So, turn right, skate, turn around the corner, and we're just going to go through these hallways. And you want to take down all the snakes that you see. Snakes, worms, noodles, whatever you want to call them. Just make sure they're all dead. Now, if one of them happens to be, like this one that's out here, he can spot you and follow you in here. If he's roughly around this area and further in, he won't let you save him. You have to take out anything that crosses this area. Sometimes even one of these guys can come in here and get in the way. So just make sure everything in the area is dead. Jump up the ledge, talk to him, skip, and then head on out. Usually most of the enemies won't hit you unless they just happen to be at the right time, right moment, right everything to where they spin, then they might hit you. But yeah, it's overall a pretty simple area. Now, for a new player, I recommend getting the Zenny hole nearby, because we want to get that energy canteen for safety reasons, so you can actually finish your runs and not die. So get the Zenny hole first, and then turn and make your way down to the junk shop guy. You may have to deal with one of those guys first. Now we deal with the snakes just like before. Kind of just want to skim around the area, just turn your camera around, shoot, and you'll probably kill all or most of them. Hello? Talk to him? Okay. Yeah, we want to get that money so you can go back into the junk shop next time and buy the energy canteen. So if you get into a really bad spot, a very, very threatening spot or something where you need to just make sure you don't die, that's when it'll save you. Let's head on back. Right, so in here, you normally have to talk to the junk shop lady, but normally have to do some, like movement, camera turning or something to talk to her. So what you want to do on PlayStation is hold camera turn right, hold circle, and diagonal upright. And boom, just like that, you talk to her really easily with no fuss. Now, if you're on 64, you can just hold C down and B, because the area is slightly smaller, the room is slightly smaller, so you don't have to move at all. So, pick whatever you want. On English, it's frames slower to actually manually move over to the hippopotamus option, so just pick Mega Man on English, I guess. So heading back out, gonna talk to Roll. And as soon as you talk to her, just skip. Skip the text boxes. Say no. Leave. Skip this scene here. Quick turn to the left. Through. We have this mandatory stealth mechanic. What you have to do is you walk up to them, and then a cutscene happens and you can skip it. Now if you don't walk up to them, you have to deal with this. Like, hey, go away, you have to walk, tutorial, whatever. And this discoloration on the wall, as you can see, it kind of divides Mega Man right in half. That's exactly where the trigger starts. Same with this side of the wall, although it's a little bit harder to notice. It gives you a real good clue of how close you have to get before you finally have to, start walking. So it's, say, you stop skating right around here, you just kind of walk like that, and there you go. Skip. And skip this scene. We're gonna skate between these two houses right here. And on easy, any percent, you normally do not have to worry about any traffic at all. No big deal. This way. As soon as you talk to the police officer, start. Skip this scene. Leave. Skip this cutscene. I'm going to go over a neat piece of tech here. So, what you want to do, it's something that's free to try, and if you don't get it, it's whatever. So, we call this a rock launch. So, for example, into their save state. So, if I just hold forward when I skate off the ledge, I land roughly right here. See how far away from that first line that I am? Now the launch, you let go of forward just before you fall off of a ledge while you're skating, and you get a nice little boost of speed, and you just go further. So let's see if I can get it. Yep. See how much closer to that line I am? So, it's a nice little bit of tech that's free to try. If you don't get it, it's whatever. And if you do get it, it's a nice little time save. So, let's try it here. While going diagonally. Pretty good launch right there. And we're going to deal with the dog. Now, if you're playing on English, you have to talk to Tron first, then talk to the dog, and this loses you like 15, 20 seconds, give or take. I don't know how much exactly. It loses you that much time compared to Japanese, because on Japanese, you just kick. Boom, done, it's over. Skate this way between the houses, go back through Apple Market. Skip the cutscene. And talk to Roll. Skip. Now here's where I recommend going through to the going back to the junk shop to buy the canteen. If you got that money hole, then you have plenty of money for it right now. So talk to her. And the first option is buy. Top one here is items. Second one is parts. So items. And the 650 is what we want. It's the energy canteen. This is the only trip you're going to make in the entire run. And if you don't want to do any safety strats, you wouldn't do this at all. You would not get the Zenny hole back in the Snake Pit. So, yeah. So right up next is going to be a boss rush. Okay, so this boss rush, it's kind of complicated but simple at the same time. So first of all, We're going to be dealing with the Blumebears, where you have to get the key, and then we're going to deal with Tron in her four-legged mech. So the Blumebears, they're actually pretty simple. You just want to make sure you know how to circle strafe around enemies. Go ahead and make a save state right here. So the idea is you want to circle strafe around this dude while shooting. Goes down, he drops the key. So if you want to make it really simple, what you do is just you hold right, and then once you line up with the blue guy, you just start turning left. So hold right and shoot. Start turning left, so you're circling around him, and he's done like that. Now if you want to be slightly more optimal about it, you would do a little bit of a right turn first, and then you start turning left. That's just to be optimal, it's not a big deal. And then wait for the key to drop, stand on it, boom, done. I'll make another save state right here. So Tron's mech, it's got a little bit of a, it's got some AI quirks to it that you have to be aware of. So if you stand still or kind of move late, she might, it's random, she might consider, you know, doing that, driving away. And she's invincible during that. And the other issue is the fight cannot end unless she's at this area, at the start of the area. It's like, let's say I got her HP down to 0 over here. It won't actually go down to 0. It'll have a tiny little bit left, and she literally cannot die unless she's over here first. So to avoid this happening, what you want to do is move up left for about a step or two, and do not hold square yet. Like, do not hold square. And wait until you've started moving first. Because if you hold square before you start moving, you stand still for a couple of frames, like this, and that's sometimes long enough to make her want to drive away. So I'll see if I can demonstrate it. I'm going to hold square and dino up left. That. See? Exactly that. We want to avoid that. So what you want to do is wait until you've started moving first. Like, you can just wait like even a frame or two, it doesn't matter. Just as long as you've started moving before you started holding square. So if you do that and move for like a step and a half, 2 steps, then the fight is done, more or less. So start moving first. Now I start holding square, shoot at this leg, and the fight's over, pretty much. And boom, done just like that. Now, there's also a little bit of optimization you can do. I wouldn't worry about it as a new player, but I guess I'll just talk about it anyway. A lot of the time, you cannot skip cutscenes or do some other interactions until Mega Man is completely stopped. So if you notice, like right when you take down her HP bar when you're mashing start, it won't quite pause right away. It's because the game is waiting for Mega Man to put his arm down. So while you're shooting the boss, if you just let go square and tap forward, he'll be idle immediately. So right when you fire your last shot at the leg, just let go square and tap forward, and you can skip the cutscene much sooner. I'll see if I can demonstrate it. Boom, just like that. So that's a little optimization you can try. It's not a big deal early on as a new runner, but it's something pretty cool. So anyway, here we got next, it's the City Hall section, and this one has got a lot of RNG. So I'll just show you the best ways to deal with it. So the City Hall section, like I was saying, it's RNG. And the intended way to do it is you want to take down the 3 flying dudes, because otherwise they'll go pick up a ground guy and just keep prolonging the entire section. But with the strategy we're going to use, we're going to intentionally make that happen, and it may or may not go in our favor. So I'll show you. So you want to go left while trying to skip the cutscene. A little bit of free movement here. Make a new save state. So you want to go left, quick turn. After a few steps, you want to aim up at this blue guy. Take him down first, turn around backwards, shoot the pink one, turn around again, and then deal with this guy. He could be at a random position that you don't know. Now, once you deal with him, the yellow guy, the yellow flying one, see him flying away back there? That's a coin flip. You can either fly away like he just did, or he can fly straight towards you. If he flies straight towards you, try to shoot him down, and after a certain point, you just aim straight up, and usually your auto aim will do the work for you. But if he goes away like that, you want to just take down all the remaining guys in front of you, just around the area. And then by the time you get done, you'll end up somewhere around here, and then you shoot him down when he's over there. So like I said, it's RNG. You don't quite know what pattern you're gonna get until you do it. So go over it again. We turn left, take down the blue guy, turn around, pink guy, turn around again. This guy. I did not do enough damage. Okay, he flew away again, so let's just show you a rough idea of what it's gonna be like. Take down that guy. This guy, you're gonna get a cutscene. Skip. You do not get that cutscene if you take down the yellow flyer when he flies over your head. And take him down. I'll try to show you what that looks like if you get the correct RNG. Down the blue guy. Pink guy. This yellow guy. Turn around. Where's he going? Coming straight at us? Alright, so try to shoot him down. You have to aim all the way up. And now you take down everyone else. This guy goes behind the fence, and you have to jump so your shots aren't digging the fence so much. So that's what it looks like when you get the good RNG. So because you took down all 3 flyers before you blew up like 2 or 3 ground guys, you do not get that cutscene, and it's faster anyway. Now before we cover Bonne, I just want to like give you a quick refresher on like the locations of the yellow guys. So their behavior is very random. Like when it comes to those ground guys, the yellow guys are just very, very random. They can lose you so much time and everything. But the red guy is the one that's predictable. So see this red one right here? You're gonna turn towards City Hall. He's always gonna be right there, just punching at City Hall. Now the yellow guys, there's always gonna be one somewhere in this bank area. And then the one that was in the middle, like right when we started, you can see him in our vision. He's usually gonna be somewhere around here, fountain area, towards City Hall, something, whatever. Ow. And then this one is always gonna be somewhere in the police station area, so those are the general areas to look for the yellow guys. Police station, fountain or City Hall, and the bank. At the very start, sometimes the bank guy, sometimes he can be a little bit mean, and he might want to just go behind the bank or behind this house over here. And at that point, you have no real choice other than to just chase him down and shoot him, and then hopefully the yellow flyer still goes in your direction. So that's how this section works overall. And now let's finally talk about Bonne. Alright, so let's deal with Bonne. So there's a couple ways you can do it. Both are fairly simple. The first way, you can kind of just run forward and shoot at him, and then stop right in front of him and see what he does. If he does this tongue thing right here, you want to walk forward an extra step, because otherwise you'll get hit by it. And just like look up at him, he's done. Now depending on what other pattern he gives you, he might like shoot more missiles. You may have to just keep stepping forward towards him until you trigger the tongue thing. Or he'll just keep shooting missiles and then finally do the clap move. If he does the clap, depending on when he does it, you may have to like jump backwards, or you can just sit there and still shoot and you won't have to worry about it. It just depends on the time, like when he finally does it. So I'll see if I can get another pattern out of it from going straight. So let's run straight at him and shoot. Tongue thing right away. You just step forward. But yeah, the missiles, you just keep stepping forward until he does something else. And it's pretty simple overall. Now the other method, you just pretty much just circle strafe around him. And it's that simple. So what I would do at the very start, just sit there and hold square. And then once he does something like shoot missiles, you want to just finally start circle strafing around him before the missiles come and hit you. I'll show you what I mean. I'm just going to hold square. And before the missiles reach me, I'm going to start moving. And, you know, just keep turning and take him down that way. So that method is also pretty simple. Overall an easy boss. Just kind of have to react a little bit to what he's doing, but it's overall not that hard. Skip the cutscenes. Forward. Go through the door and skip real fast. We're here. Skip this cutscene. We're just gonna head on all the way to Marlwolf. The geometry in this area is a little bit different based on what version you're playing. On 64, there's a lot of it that's cut out, so my movement was kind of strange there because I'm used to 64 at the moment, and it looks different. Like on 64, for example, this bridge isn't here. You just go straight. So it's some very silly changes. So in here, we're gonna do the Marlwolf fight. So just like I showed you before, when you first landed on the island, you want to stop a little bit early so you can skip the cutscene sooner. Here's Marlwolf. Alright, so Marlwolf, I'm going to show you a couple ways of how to do this, but the idea is that we're going to be sniping him from far away with our long-range buster. And there's a couple ways to do it. I'll show you my preferred way first, and then I'll show you another way that some other runners prefer to do it. It's purely preference, whichever one works best for you, so go ahead and experiment with either one and see what you get. So, for my first method that I prefer the most, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be going down right until I can't move any further. I'm going to roll to the right so I don't get hit by the energy balls. And then I'm going to set up my aiming visual cue so that I can start shooting him as his hatch opens. So, let's go all the way down right. Roll. We're going to start aiming our buster. So here's what I do. See this big rock right here? And you got the left side of the rock. I like to aim a little bit to the left of the side of the rock here. Like say your shots are going right past it, just barely. And then that's your horizontal. But for your vertical, you got a couple of ways to do it. You can use, see this top corner of the rock right here? You can kind of aim upwards so that you're kind of lined up with it, so your visual is kind of like this. You'll be aiming roughly around here. But another way you can do it that I found recently, or someone else found that I thought was really good, is see how your health bar has a notch up here and a notch down here? You want to line up this top notch, this part, with one of the colored lines on this wall over here. So like you look straight up from where I'm looking right now, you look up a little bit, and this notch will line up with the second yellow line right here. And it should line up your shot right with his hat. So I'll show you. Just like that, and we're hitting him from that far away. Now, the other method, what you'll be doing is, as soon as the fight starts, you'll be jumping up here, kind of going to the corner sideways, and you roll to dodge the shots, and then you start lining up a shot. But it's got a little bit more vague. The visual cues are a little bit more vague, but it is a workable method. So I'll see if I can demonstrate that. Alright, so that alternate method like I was talking about, what we're going to be doing is jumping to the right immediately. And you want to run to the corner, roll to the right. Now you won't be able to see him as he's shooting his orbs, so you're going to be doing that roll kind of blind, but you can hear it, so it's pretty easy to do the roll and not get hit. And then we're going to set up our visual cue from there. Corner, roll. Okay, so trying to line up a visual cue up here is a little bit tough because you have a little bit less time, but what you want to do, or at least what I figured out anyway, is see this corner, this top corner of that rock like I was telling you about before? You want to aim like right above it. It's like that'll be your horizontal. You want to line up with this point. And then what I figured out that I think was pretty neat is, remember that notch I was telling you about before, lining up with the lines? Line up the top notch with the top yellow line. Seems to work fairly well. Or at least not here, but on this wall. You got this yellow line and this yellow line. Line up the top notch with the top one. That seems to work well for me anyway. So let's try it. You don't get much time to line up shots. It's pretty tough, so let's try it again. I think this should work. Yeah. Well, since I didn't have to deal with pausing and unpausing the emulator, it was easier to set it up, but that's more or less what I go for. Top notch with the yellow line, and my horizontal is above the point of the rock. Roughly right there. And that should work. But again, I prefer the ground method. So now I'm going to show you a little backup strat I came up with real quick that might work out if say you try to do your visual cue lineup and you mess up a little bit and don't get it in time and he shuts his door before you can finish him off. I came up with a little bit of a position you can try to use that might work. So I'll show you what I mean. Let's get up here, make like we're trying to do this strat correctly. So that should work. A bunch of shots should hit. Like, let's say you mess it up and the shots get pulled by that. As soon as you see him moving, run this way. Let the shots get blocked by the walls. Wow, I can't really see. Okay. Okay, now I can see. So because I was trying to just set up a position where I could see, I'm a little bit late, but you'll see what I'm trying to do. So the horizontal cue I'm looking for is, see this part of the wall that's kind of just ending right here? You want to aim your shots to line up with this, and then you want your bottom notch to line up with the bottom of this rock here. And then it should line up well enough to hit him if you're in this corner. So again, you wait until he starts moving, get to this side of the area, let the shots get blocked by the walls, and then try to set up here. But it's tough trying to do the any backup at all for this fight, because once you mess up the initial strategy, it all goes downhill and it just becomes a gigantic time loss, which is why most runners reset if they fail this fight. So I'll try to demonstrate doing the backup. So let's get set up again. Set up for a failed setup. So I should hit a few shots. Maybe I messed up or something, who knows. Door closes. Wait till he starts moving. Try to hide. Now I'll try to line up my shots there. That should work. See that? I lined up with this wall horizontally, and this with the bottom of the rock was my vertical, and those shots still landed. So it's a kind of a tough backup, but if you practice this, then it might be workable. Otherwise, you can do just none of this sniping stuff whatsoever. You can just do what we do in normal mode, which is go to the corner like the ground strat, roll, and then just do what you do on normal mode, where you climb up the rocks here, and then just like jump on his back or something. If you want to just not fiddle around with something, even if it's slower, even if this is slower, you know, roll. This is still guaranteed. Doesn't matter what pattern he gives you on his back. Just shoot on his back and shoot. So this is slower because it's an entire cycle slower, but you're not messing with any long-range shooting, visual cues, nothing like that. So if you want to just get the fight done, boom, go, this is your other strategy you can use. Just hop on his back like you would on normal mode. Skip the cutscene. Hop up the steps. And let's leave. Hit confirm. Skip the cutscenes. And skip this cutscene and turn backwards. I like to hold down while mashing start and circle. Then I react to the cutscene skipping, and then I let go of, like, mashing start. So we leave. Go into the support car. And you want to talk to Roll. And just skip all these text boxes. There's a lot of them. With the walkie-talkie. So now we're going to fast travel. On Japanese, it's second from the bottom. In English, I think it says support car or something. And you want to go to the top one. This is Cardon Forest. Alright. We're going to skate to the right. Follow the path. Then we're going to go to this lady by the cave. Skip. Now, do not go through the cave. We're going to do an out-of-bounds glitch, and it's significantly easier with the skates than it is on normal where you do not have the skates yet. So you go in here, and we're going to do an out-of-bounds trick. So this trick, like I was saying, is significantly easier now that you have the skates on easy mode. What you want to do, go backwards, open the door, skate, and we now open the door again, and you want to just skate into this corner and turn until you fall out of bounds. And we're just going to go up and around until we land in here. Now, I'll show you the path that we take. So again, when you skate into the corner here and turn until you fly out, you want to just go up and around from where we came in. You see this green square here? We came from here. So you want to just go up and around, like, over it. You want to be careful because above it is a really long hallway that leads to the main gate. And if you do that, you're not soft locked or anything. It's just you have to go through a separate room that leads you to Old City, call roll, come back, and then try it again. Do not land in this long hallway, whatever you do. But yeah, you just go up and around over from where you came from and land in this other diamond-shaped room nearby. And it's that simple. Now, one other thing I want to mention is that you can get a really just free rock launch off of doing this out of bounds, right? Remember how I told you you want to let go forward before you, like, ramp off of a ledge? The out of bounds kind of does it for you because it slightly blocks you before you finally clip through. And if you're not holding forward by the time you touch the corner and, you know, you're finally turning and it finally lets you through, because you're not holding forward, it kind of just sets up the launch for you and you just go zooming out of bounds. I'll show you. Let's not hold forward. And look at that, we're going faster. Then we land in here and just go straight. We're here in Cardon Ruins. Now you just want to make your way to the elevator panel, or not the elevator panel, the refractor panel. Yep, text boxes here. Get forward. More text boxes. Talk to the panel. And then we're going to go through this door. So this door will not work if you did not talk to the lady outside of the cave before we did all this. Like, she is a mandatory story trigger. You cannot go through the door unless you talk to her first. Everything will be broken and you'll just be toggling things on and off. So talk to her first and then you can come in here. And speaking of the doors in this place, they have a very wide range. So, like, see where I'm standing right now? Right about here is where I can open the door. It's just, like, right behind this little texture on the floor. See that? They open from far away. So, go over here, go up this ramp. We're going to stop. Now, we're going to do a diagonal jump all the way over here and grab this ledge over here and go into this door over here. Now, this jump, it seems intimidating at first. It's even kind of tough at first, but if you just jump diagonally, you'll be fine most of the time. If you start your jump somewhere right here, close to the edge, not like super close where you're about to fall off, but like quite close, you'll be fine. So where I'm standing right now, that's too early. But if you go forward like a little bit more, that's plenty, and you'll be able to make it. Easy peasy every time. Just make sure you jump diagonally, and you got it. Boom, just like that. Make it on through, go in here. Skate straight across. Now there's a little bit of movement trickery you can do in here. That's a little bit of preference. And I'll show you what I mean. So what I tend to do for my movement is I go across all these ice panels to this platform, then I jump, you know, step on this one so the green chest falls, and then I press the button to continue on. But you can kind of take it safe if you want. You can kind of just stop skating like right here maybe, and then jump across. But just keep in mind that whichever movement strat you go with, it doesn't matter that much. You're going to come through here a second time, and some of these ice panels will be gone, and you'll have to do some different movement. So just keep that in mind. Whatever movement you do is going to influence how you go back through here the second time. So I'm just going to do my preferred movement. Go all the way to this platform, jump across, step on that ice panel, press the button, and now it's auto-scroller time. So all we can do is just sit here and wait, so like, I don't know, blow up these guys or something. We got a lot of time to waste. Make sure both these hatches are open. Yep, so all we do now is just wait for that green chest to get in here and get destroyed by that compactor. Now, if you want to instantly grab the key, you want to stand right around here. See how you got like these 4 square textures? You want to stand at the bottom left corner of this one right here, the one that's second from the wall. Either third from this wall or second from this wall, whatever. Just stand in this corner and just have the key land on you like it just did. And we're going to just go back through the ice room again. Like I said, whatever movement you did before, it's going to get rid of some ice panels. So if we did the movement that I did, you want to jump, just keep jumping. It's a mostly straight line. Cut that corner if you're feeling brave, and go on through. Now just hold diagonal, and open the chest from the side. If you try to skate, you'll just keep talking to the chest, so you want to move a little bit and turn, and then skate. Now this is the silly little puzzle room with the buttons. Because you have the skates and your movement is significantly faster, it's actually a little bit tougher on easy mode than it is on normal. So you can just kind of like skate into it, take your time, and that works. But if you want to be quick about it, what you can do is kind of do a serpentine, S-shaped pattern, okay? Kind of like this. That's a little bit faster, but it's also a little bit tougher and easy to mess up. So if you want to just take it easy, you know, just do this. That works. But of course, the fast way, something like that. Don't get caught on corners. Grab the key, don't miss it. Okay, so coming from this door, it can be kind of an easy jump to mess up because you want to land on this platform right here. That's where the next key is. And what you basically want to do is as soon as you come out of here, you want to jump up left and just wrap around that corner. Like just wrap yourself around that wall. Don't like hold your camera turned too early or else you start doing stuff like this. You want to start turning once you've jumped. Once you jump, then you start turning. You know, grab the key, jump over here. We're going to do another big diagonal jump. Oh, I even did a big jump. That's frame perfect. Don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. You'll usually grab the ledge. So now we're going to go into the next room. Refractor panel. Say yes. Skip the cutscene. And we're going to get back on the elevator and head on out of here. So now we're going to get back into the support car. Then talk to roll. I got a few text boxes. Alright, now we're going to go to item development, which is going to be the second, it's going to be down twice. Confirm. And then she's going to make the jump springs, because you need these. These are required. Okay, now we're going to go to fast travel, or support car, second from the bottom. And we're going to go down one, which is downtown. And exit. And then you want to kind of move down left. Quick turn, and then we're going to go to the west door. This is to Uptown. So as soon as you come in, you want to pause, go to your special items, put on the jump springs, and then use the walkie-talkie. And this way you get teleported all the way across the map without having to, you know, manually move all the way here. And just go up left while turning, go to the boathouse. Here, and we're going to go to the door immediately to our right. So what I like to do is I just hold up right and then just go down right and interact with the door. After a text box, interact again. So the movement I like to take here is I turn left while moving left. Not this close to the trash can, but just like maybe a step, and then go diagonally up left while turning left, like this. And that puts me pretty close to him just about every time. Interacting with this guy is kind of hard sometimes. If you mess up your movement a little bit, you might get caught between him and the boat. And then, like, what might happen sometimes is you'll talk to the boat, and then you won't even change your angle, and then it talks to him right after. It's kind of silly. Like that. See, I talked to the boat, didn't even move, and I talked to him immediately. So if you want to avoid shenanigans like that, just go left, diagonal left. And he's right there. Firm. Skip the cutscene. Go on the boat. Confirm. Now this is the long auto-scroller. Pretty much all you need to do is just look around, shoot all the guys. Since you have your max buster, you're probably not going to be threatened whatsoever, so I really don't think you need a tutorial for the auto-scroller where you're hardly under any threat whatsoever, so I'm just going to go ahead and skip to the part where the boss fight starts. So Just before that though, every one of these guys, they go down 5 hits. And the flying ships that show up later, they go down in 3 hits. So yeah, I'll see you when the boss fight starts. So here we are at the boss. This one is notoriously difficult no matter what category you run. Like, hard to kill fast. It's an auto-scroller boss. If you don't destroy all 4 parts in enough time, you have to sit there and wait for another entire spin around him, so it's quite tough no matter what category it is. Even for easy mode, it has a little bit of challenge to it. So I'll show you what the strat is. I want to make my new save state on this confirmation box. Save state here. Alright, so confirm. Now we're going to set up a visual cue, because what we're going to do is try to blow up all 4 parts before we even do like a quarter of a rotation all the way around them. So the visual cue I'm about to show you is specifically for every version except 64. If you're running on 64, the visual is going to change up a little bit because as you go down the river, Mega Man is going to start slowly sliding a little bit, and that affects your visual cue as you're going. For now, right now I'm going to talk about the visual cue that's for PlayStation and all the other versions. So when you select to zoom your camera out, and first I'm going to show you the horizontal. So see Mega Man's leg right here? This is what I use. See how there's like a bright line and it kind of goes dark right here? You want to line up this slant of the boat right here with like the bright line. And that's your horizontal. So kind of like this. This should work. And then the vertical, I want to get that set up by the time we're at the big lake area. But what's going to happen is the water's going to meet the land, and I want to have that line up with this top notch of the health bar. So let me make a new save state. And don't worry about the missiles, you should have plenty of HP. It's not a big deal. Alright, see this? See how the land and water separation lines up with the notch here? This is what I use. Now on 64, you're going to line this up with like where the water stops like rendering. There's going to be fog, and there's going to be the water, and then it's going to just like cut off. You want that cutoff point to line up with the notch. The horizontal is much more vague, and I'll talk about that later. But for now, the entire goal of this setup is to land a few shots on his back arm before you even start the fight. So fight starts, you land a few shots, and then you want to aim at his cannons, and you want to shoot down both arms. So this is going to be what's called the 0 cycle. If you don't get this right away, it's not a huge deal. I mean, it is going to cost you like 20-something seconds, more than that. So if you're just learning, don't worry about it too much, but I'm still going to show you how to do it anyway. So right at the very beginning, we're going to land these opening shots. So while these shots are traveling, it's a little bit after this, you want to just immediately pull your aim to the cannons. Just like this. And then turn your aim left a little bit. Just a little bit, not too much. Because if you go too far left, your shots will start getting pulled this way. They'll dink on his body, and you'll be missing some shots. So this is a little bit feel-based, but you want to land a bunch of shots on this arm. And while the shots are traveling to that arm, you want to pull over to the other arm. And then you should be able to get what we call the 0 cycle. And if you don't get it, again, it's not a huge deal. Just go all the way around the boss again, blow up the remaining parts that still survived, and then you blow up the core. Going a little bit too early. That's fine. I have a save state for that. Like I was saying, you want to just line up the vertical like this. Let's see if I can do it without any interruptions. Throw these shots, hit the cannons, slightly left, turn, boom, and there you go. And the core should be here right now. And that's how you do the fight. That's how you do it quickly. But again, it's kind of tough. Now, The 64 visual cue for the horizontal, you may just have to watch like some other runs that have gotten the trick, because I can never seem to line up a good, visual cue myself. But one that I have seen that has some success is one that Archguard uses. And what you do is, I don't remember if you need the camera zoomed in or out, but the idea is to line up your shots so that the back of the boat lines up with the sparks hitting the water. It's kind of a vague visual cue, because like no matter what cue you try to use on 64, it's going to be kind of vague because of Mega Man sliding. So that's one that I recommend trying, and then you use the rendering distance cutoff point to line up with the notch here, and that's how you get the fight. Now I'll show you what happens if you mess it up. So let's see, this is my horizontal. Fast forward a little bit. Here's my vertical. So I'm going to purposely mess it up, and you'll see when you're too late or too early. Or not so much too early, but just when you're too late. Okay, so see how he raised his arm for the first shot? He's going to raise his arm for the second shot. And if he gets to that point, that's when you're too late. So I'll show you. So this is probably the latest possible frame that the arm can get destroyed, and that you'll still get the core to spawn. If the arm raises up any higher than this, you're too late. Same thing with the other side. If the second arm raises up high enough, you're too late. You have to go all the way around again. See, it's not there. You have to go all the way around. So that's just what it is. You're going to lose like well over 20 seconds from messing it up. It sucks, but it is what it is. And then there's one final tip I have for destroying the core quickly and saving some extra time. So, get the visual cue lined up. Fast forward a little bit. Alright, here's the lineup. Okay, boom, there it is. Now I want to make another save state. Now, for destroying the core quickly, you want to... The core's hitbox is very weird. So what you want to do is aim your shots to the left side of it, almost like you're not even hitting it at all. Because the hitbox, it has like a delayed spawn, but part of it is still there. So aim your shots right here, to the side of it. You start hitting it mad early for some reason. I don't know why it is, but it just works that way. And then, remember that tip I told you earlier, how the game kind of waits for Mega Man to be idle before it does anything? So you want to like stop letting go, you want to let go of square early, so that the last of your shots will finish it off. And then by the time the core blows up, you'll be idle and you'll be getting the mission complete text like ASAP. So I'll show you what I mean. So I'm hitting the core in that weird spot. Right, so I'm letting go of square right now. You can probably do it a couple shots sooner. You see all these shots that are traveling? These are going to blow it up. And then if I stopped slightly sooner, his arm would be down and the text would be appearing like right now. So I probably would have had it appear like a handful of frames sooner if I just let go of square sooner. So that's another little bit of extra time save you can get. So that's this boss fight. It's kind of tough at first, but once you get the visual cues down, it's really not that bad. You just have to do a little bit of practice. So here we are at Lake Jyun Ruins. Now this place is infamous for its shenanigans. You got a lot of these red guys and the boss skip. And right off the bat, we got something to talk about related to those red guys. So they're gonna be skating all over the place, possibly bonking into you and stuff. So you open the first door, and the circle input you use to open this door, keep it held so you start skating. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna skate sideways to the left, and you want to be like when you go to turn right around the corner, you want to keep against the wall, but not like hard against it, but just slightly against it. And the next guy in the next room, he's not gonna hit you. He's just gonna try to aim a fireball at you, and he's not gonna hurt you. I'll show you. Whoops. Assuming I don't just walk on accident. Like this. Open the door. Start skating. Go against the wall. See that? He's just gonna start aiming a fireball. Now, you don't want to go too far with your angle against the wall, because then there's gonna be a guy over here that comes and just skates into you. if you're too slow, and being too slow means you're just skating against the wall too hard. So you want to go at least in the correct direction to some degree, just not too hard against this wall, and you should get around this guy every time. Should. I don't know if I got it correct here because I'm explaining things, but let's see. Yeah, I got past him. So go around the corner, hug the wall, stay near the wall, and you want to go over here. So yeah, that first room, it's optimal to be suboptimal. So take this first left. Chest. We're gonna skate across. Look out for the spider dude in this big room here. He could be right in your way. Turn. Follow the path. Go in here. And to the right is gonna be our next key. Alright, so now I got another little handy trick to show you. The realistic name for it is basically skate storage, but you can call it like bow skate, aut skate, whatever, whoever found it first, it doesn't matter. But what's going to happen is we're going to let go of either forward or circle by the time we reach the ledge and fall off. You're pretty much doing the same inputs as you would for a rock launch, right? And what happens is your skate startup frames, these frames, this is going to get stored. And the way the trick works is you fall off the ledge. As long as you are still moving, do not stop and do not grab a ledge when you jump. As long as you keep moving, then you can land from a jump. So like you're trying to jump up these ledges, and by the time you hold circle, you're automatically going again, like immediately. So it's a nice little storage trick. So what you want to do, let go forward or circle, doesn't matter. Then hold circle before you land from your jump. Make sure you don't grab any ledges or stop. And there you go. Jump across. Get your next key. If you want to be more safe about your movement across here, is there a guy up here? Sometimes there is. Is he in here? Whatever. There he is. Get out of here. So, if you want to be more safe with your jump over there, you could just kind of jump on this platform first and then over here. But the optimal jump really isn't that hard. You just have to, you know, just jump, turn, and there you go. Easy peasy. So now let's head to the main path. Over here. Up. And just skate diagonally all the way to the end. And here's the boss room. And I'll show you how to do the boss skip. But before that, we gotta at least, you know, go get the refractor. So we got another one of those stopping text boxes somewhere right around here. So as you're running, you step on like that first red square and then jump. Maybe a little bit before it, but it doesn't matter. Now, a neat little trick you can do here is right after you skip this next cutscene, you can jump backwards before Roll's text box pops up and you get a little bit of free movement, but it's kind of tough. I think it's frame perfect, but it doesn't hurt to go for it. So just skip the cutscene, and while the screen is black, hold square and just try to time your jump. Just like that. Wow, nice. So anyway, I'm going to show you how to do the boss skip, and you want to set up right at this door here. Now the setup for this boss skip is very, very simple, very easy. You can do it blindfolded, because the skates just make it that free. So pretty much what you want to do is go to the left corner of this door, and see how the door and the wall kind of split Mega Man in half. That's pretty much your visual cue. And if it's not opening right away, just slightly turn until it finally opens. Alright, once it does, you want to skate diagonally. Do not touch your turn buttons, just skate diagonally. Like, do not touch your turn buttons. You want to just skate just diagonally. That's it. So let's open the door. I want to skate diagonally, no turning. And boom, we're past the boss trigger, and now we can leave. So the boss trigger is this entire square tile on the ground. So if you touch that trigger at all, the boss fight's going to start. And if you turn too far when you open the door, like this might not work, it might not. Yeah, it didn't work. See, now the boss fight started. So it's precise, but it's easy. So just keep turning until it works. Now, if you did what I did just now, where I turned too far and turned back again, you can still salvage it and make it work. Just like that. So Just wait for the door to finally open, skate diagonally, and you're done. And we just head back. And right here, you know, just skate through the middle of the room, go for a lunge if you can. I don't know if I got one there or not, but whatever. Jump on the ledges. Don't get a ledge grab of shame like that, that's not good. Get to the end. Now in this room, you have to be very careful, because these guys can really just mess with you. So just try to bob and weave. They're a little bit different every time. And if you're lucky, you can get through here, just like that. Sometimes if you're unlucky, you know, they'll spin on you, you might get hit, whatever. If you want to take it safe, you can stop skating early and just jump over them. That also works. Now here's a neat little trick I'm going to show you for this elevator, because normally you would just like jump on the back of it, interact with it, and go up. But if you want to save like 1 second, if you do it right the first try anyway, what you do is you walk up to it, hold circle, or I guess it's C down on 64. You hold R2 to go into aiming. You can let go of circle now. Now 64, that's either L and R together or C right. And then once you're in this state, as soon as you let go of R2, you quick turn backwards. And boom, just like that, it skips having to get on top of the on the elevator. Now if you're on 64, it's kind of like a roll of the thumb. So pretend my buttons are 64 right now. Like this is C down and this is C right. I just go like this. I just C down, roll my thumb to C right, let go of C down, and then I just quick turn backwards, and it's a nice little simple movement. Like here on PlayStation, whatever, circle, R2, let go circle, quick turn, there you go. Saves you about a second. Maybe it's too much to explain for a 1 second time save, but I still think it's cool. So go to the boat, leave. Skip. Go through the door. You have time for some swag. If two load zones are close together enough like that, you can just do some silly things. Time to go in the support car. We give Roll the red refractor, and the flutter's repaired. We got more stuff to do. So the movement here, you just want to go back right, or go back left while turning right. And you'll be set up just like this, and you quick turn backwards. Pretty simple. Just like this. And we're going to go to Gramps' room next for the grand grenades. So what you want to do is hold right, and you want to listen for 2 of Mega Man's footsteps, and then turn backwards. Okay, maybe that was a little bit greedy, maybe slightly more than 2 steps, and you'll be at Gramps' room. And you want to go over here. It's the grand grenade parts. And the movement in here, you want to just like hold left. And by the time you reach this pole right here, this pipe, whatever it is, that's when you start turning left. Then you'll be right in front of Gramps. But because I was waiting, he's like over here, so. I like this. And he's like right there. Now say no to Gramps both times. If you say yes both times, you're getting like 4 extra text boxes. Now we're going to go back into Roll's room. And we're going to make the grand grenades, because we need those to progress. So go down 1. This is the R&D room. Just like the support car. Talk to Roll. Go down twice for item development. And go down 1 for special weapons. Top 1 is change. Switch to the grand grenade, which is up. Back out. Hold circle so you can talk to Roll ASAP. And go to second from the bottom. You want to go up twice, because if you happen to input too early and have the game eat one of your inputs, then at worst you'll be either talking to her or canceling, rather than going to the R&D room, wasting a lot more time. So, same movement as before. I want to show you a neat little trick here. It's called aim storage. So what you want to do, remember how I told you got some swag you can do between load screens if they're that close to each other? What you want to do is, as soon as like you're holding upright, and as soon as you interact with the door to leave, as soon as you press circle, just like aim upward. Just aim straight up. Even if it's just a little bit, it helps. Because what happens is the next time you aim up, you aim faster. Kind of like that. Your aim moves up faster. Because otherwise it moves up slower like this. But if you did that aim storage trick I showed you, you aim up even faster. I'll do it one more time. Then we'll move on. Kind of like that. Next time you aim up, it'll be faster. You might be wondering, why do you want to do that for? Well, on the way to the next boss room, we have to aim straight up. So, comes in handy there. So we're just gonna jump forward and then kind of pull back on your jump so that you land, you know, kind of down here. The movement you take down here doesn't matter too much. Just make your way down here somehow. Go back left. Open the door. Now, there's some swag you can do on this door on the way out, but it's not a big deal, so I'm not going to go over that right now. Interact with the panel. It's time to leave. Do some silly things with that door, but only on that visit. We'll go to the next door straight ahead, and we're going to jump ahead. Jump ASAP, or else that guy's going to hit you. Now, some neat movement you can do in this room. Go down this hole very easily. It's just hold forward and turn left. Do not go diagonal. Don't go sideways. Just hold forward and turn left. And then if you want to avoid this ledge grab, as soon as you start falling, you pull back and then go forward again. And it'll look kind of like this. Nice and smooth. Now you want to run to the right. Jump up here. Jump up here. Open this chest. Turn left and skate. You do a launch off here. Nice. Now go to this left door. We're gonna head to the generator to turn on the elevators. So turn right. All the way down here. Now you have an option for whichever one you want to go for first, because you have an objective on both sides, left and right. I prefer left first. The movement just feels nicer that way, so get this ID card. Go straight over here for the generator. Confirm. And it's time to leave. Just gonna go back where we came from. Now there's a surprise right outside this door. That shield guy is looking at you and he's about ready to just burn you in the face. So what you want to do is just move diagonally in some direction and then go to the door behind him. So here's where the aim storage mattered. You want to aim straight up. You aim up faster, which is nice, with a grenade. Doesn't matter where you hit the fake ceiling, because it'll still blow up from over there. Once you do that, you just jump up here, and it's time to start the boss fight. So first, we're going to start with some nice little elevator movement. Now, normally what you think to do is just go straight, quick turn to the right, and then interact with it. But some slick little movement you can do here is to go diagonally up left while turning right. Not exactly diagonally. You want to go up, turn right, and then diagonal left. Kind of like that. And if you did it just right, you can talk to the elevator panel without having a quick turn, and it saves you a little bit of time. Like this. Easy peasy. Now for the boss fight itself, it's pretty simple. We got a couple ways to do it because it's got a very nice little AI exploit. That's what save state right here. So what you want to do is you walk off the elevator panel first. Don't try to skate from on top of here. Just walk off first. That's important, because otherwise you might cause some shenanigans later. But as soon as you land, start skating. Just go around them. Go to the door. Now we got a couple of strats we can use here. Both are pretty good. And the second one I'll show you is probably the best one. But this one, first of all, is easy to learn. So you want to just go up to the door, like against it actually. And you want to be kind of here. You can use the corner too, but a little bit away from the corner is ideal. And like, you know, a third, like here, middle, and the other third. Like, somewhere around here, this is good. And you want to aim straight up. Oops, still paused. This is probably too far to the corner, but it doesn't matter. So, when you do this, you just wait for them to gather up behind you. And on 64, you can at least see some shadows underneath you, and that'll tell you if they're all there. But otherwise, you kind of just have to get a good feel for when they're there. You can look at Mega Man's breathing animation. So up on his second breath is a good timing. So like he's up, down, up on the second one, then you start throwing grenades. So if I'm at the corner too far, it's going to take 3 grenades. But if I was more to the left, it would take only 2. 1, 2, and there you go, the boss is dead. So if I was slightly closer to the middle like this, it probably would have taken only 2 nades instead of 3, but the idea is the same. Now the other strat I'll show you, it was found somewhat recently, and it might be slightly more challenging, just slightly, but I think it's better. So what you want, oh, okay, he's like right here already. Let me reload that, because I'm trying to explain things. So you want to stand on the line in front of the door, and that's all you really have to do. Okay, so see this line in front of the door? The line is barely visible on 64, unfortunately, but you want to stand on the line right in the middle. Like, how much in the middle doesn't matter that much, just as long as you're like on the line, you're good. Because what's going to happen is these guys are just going to run into the door, swerve left to right endlessly, and they will not know what to do about it. If you're too far away, they'll start to slowly turn, and then the fight starts to go bad. If you're too close, they'll actually hit you with a ram attack, so you got to be careful. So if you're just on the line, you're good. You just sit here, wait for them to gather up, and then throw 2 grenades. Like this. So throw 2 grenades. Now, after you threw the 2 grenades, you want to turn to the right a little bit. Like this. And then once they're up like this, throw 1 more. And they're dead. And like, while they're getting hit by the explosion, you can just run toward the door and open it. And there you go. That's the boss fight. Pretty simple. So turn to the right. Open the chest. Now it's time to leave. Go for a launch. I did not get it. No big deal. Just like before, go out this way. Now we're gonna go to the left. And jump up here. And jump over here. Out this door. Escape. Left door here. Careful of that guy, he might see you. And we're gonna go over here. Time to interact with the panel. Text boxes, cutscenes. Okay. Now for this elevator, the movement for it can be kind of tricky. If you want it to be simple, just, you know, go jump sideways, quick turn backwards and you're good. But some good movement you can do is go diagonal upright while turning right. And then just tap a little short hop while still turning. Don't let go of your movement and your turn buttons. Just do a quick little short hop, like this. Then quick turn to the right, hold circle, and there you go. Movement is nice and quick. And it's time to get out of here. Go into Roll's room. Some little swag here. Talk to Roll. Go up twice to leave. Time for another boss gauntlet. So for this, it's pretty simple. You got a couple of strategies you can use to take out these planes at the beginning. Let's make a new save state. Right here. So you can just run to the end and aim up a little bit. Just kind of have to get a good feel for when to throw the grenade. It doesn't matter too much. As long as you get some damage on it, you're perfectly good. You don't have to land the grenade perfectly. Now another strat you can do is walk all the way back. And once these guys are fully lined up, that's when you just hold forward and try to get that increased DPS from moving towards your target. The timing is kind of vague, so it's a little bit hard to use this strat, but it does work if you want to save a grenade. See, I still messed it up because I don't really do it that much anymore, but it can work if you time it right. But I recommend the grenade. So, up to the edge. About now is good. You just need a tiny bit of damage and you're fine. Now we just wait. Alright, so you want to just... It doesn't matter when you blow up what piece because you have the max buster, but you just want to blow up one wing, blow up the other wing, and you want to blow up the underside. There you go. Nothing else to worry about. Now we just wait. So next is the skull marking. So you want to use at least one grenade. You can use two. For me, it just depends on what I'm feeling, but you want to use at least one grenade. And one visual cue you can use for when you throw the grenade is to look all the way up, like this. And when you see, like, the eyes, when they reach the bottom of the screen, roughly, that's when you throw your grenade. Like, maybe halfway through, like, when the bottom of the screen reaches like, the bottom to maybe halfway up, then that's when you throw the grenade. So, now, then you hold square. Alright, so I threw that late, but it really doesn't matter. But you know what, for funsies, let's try again. So, I guess a little revision, probably wait until closer to the top of the eyes, and then you're good. But either way, it doesn't matter that much. As long as you get at least one grenade's worth of damage, you're probably fine. Yeah. There you go, that's how it should look. That was proper. So now, the next boss fight, you pretty much just want a quick turn to the left immediately, and then just try to aim really far ahead of the boss. So, quick turn to the left. See how far ahead I'm aiming? Like, you want your shots to be, like, you want to lead them hard. Because if you try to aim exactly where her hand is, you're not going to hit her all that much. And it's just going to be, you know, you're not getting much damage in. She's going to fly away or fly up high, and you have to deal with that. So just lead your shots far, and you'll do well. Don't worry about the missile damage, it's not a big deal. You can just heal afterward if you want. So quick turn left to leave. Now a little frame saver trick you can use is, when you go through this door, during the black screen, hold left. It'll slightly shift your position so you can save some frames leaving the room. Doesn't matter what option you pick. So my position got carried over here, and that lets me just reach the door without being blocked by this corner. If you didn't do that, you know, you'd try to leave and you get hit by the corner, so nice little frame saver. So pause, ball roll. Now if you want to, you can heal. Like if you got messed up by those missiles after the boss, you know, go ahead and heal if you want. But anyway, we're gonna fast travel. We'll go to the main gate, second from the bottom. We're up twice. So you want to go this way, squeeze in a jump. So skating around here is kind of weird because you're kind of blind for most of it. You want to just go around the corners and make sure you brake around each corner. That way your turning is a little bit sharper. And then you want to keep a lookout for the doors. So there's going to be one door coming up right here. And the next door you want to go through is immediately following that. Look out for the first door, and then go to the next door following that immediately. So go to the right, interact with this panel, click on the second option, not the first one, the second one. Confirm. Turn to the right, and go this door to the left. For some simple movement here, just hold forward and turn left. There you go. And as soon as you open this door, just skate. It's slightly faster. Then we're going to go in here and fight our big old pal Bruno. He's a little bit tough, to take him down quickly with the Buster Max, but he's even tougher on 64, so I'll go over that in a moment. But for now, Bruno on PlayStation, any other version for that matter, he's easier on these versions because he starts moving later. On 64, he starts moving much earlier, which is why he's so tough. But yeah, what you want to do is hold forward and square so you're shooting ASAP. And you got a couple of other options if you want to take something safe and wrap around the side, or if you want to be aggressive and get in the quick damage to try and take him down fast. I'll show you the safer way first, and then we'll go over the quick way. But the safe way, you know, just hold forward and square, or you can just stand there and hold square, really. And then just go around this way. Then after the second orb, you jump up. Look out for the missiles, and then just aim at his spine. Since this is PlayStation, this can probably still work. This might kill him quickly. Maybe, maybe not. Okay, yeah, see, that still works. It's pretty simple. Just hold square, and you want to just loop around the side of the area. Like, jump while making sure that you're still facing him. So hold square. And by the time he's going to start charging up the orbs, he'll go around this way. Get behind the black box, jump up. And then shoot at his spine and see how your damage does. Hopefully your shots don't get pulled like that. That gets really annoying and frustrating. Does this work? Barely. Now the aggressive way is to hold forward and square. And then once he's, like after about a second-ish, you want to jump forward while still shooting at him. But you don't want to jump all the way forward. You want to like pull back on your jump a little bit. So like you go forward, and then you pull back, and then you go behind the black box. So I'll show you what that looks like. It's some aggression for some faster damage. You want to roll so you don't get hit by that first orb. Jump up, get some more extra damage, and there you go. This should kill him faster than the other two times. Yeah, definitely faster. And then what you want to do while he's blowing up, use one of your grenades and blow up this corner of the fence. Just like that. It's a tough fight to really get down quickly, but let's say you maybe messed up the strat and you didn't kill him quickly and he starts firing more orbs at you, because his hands will block your damage. They will block your shots and he won't die right away. Let's just say, you know, I land some shots. I don't land all of them. Maybe those missiles mess me up. Maybe I get hit by those. So I'm trying to land some shots. And let's say maybe he has this much HP left or something, right? So if he starts charging up the orbs, hide. And poke out again and just start shooting some more. Now if you mess up even harder and he's over there, you want to hide behind this building, wait for him to turn all the way around, jump up the building, and just shoot him some more from there. So that's pretty much how you do the Bruno fight on every version that's not 64. Now if you're on 64, there's not a whole lot you can do other than just try to do what I showed you, but like not mess it up at all. It's really tough. There's not a whole lot of difference with the actual strats you do. You just want to make sure you land your shots, get set up quickly, and just there's really not a lot you can do. You're just gonna have to like watch a high level easy mode run on 64 to really get a good idea of how to do it on that version. It's tough. He starts moving sooner, which makes things way more difficult. So now if you blew up that piece of the fence like I told you to, then you have a pathway open for you to just skate straight. Go right in here to the first subcity. Now these subcities are interesting. They can be kind of tough, and they have some RNG involved, so let's tackle them one at a time, huh? So the first one here for Old City, what you want to do is hold forward and square, shoot like 5 shots, 5 or 6. That's going to take out that guy right in the middle. Easy peasy. Then you want to turn to the left, and there's a guy right there. And the main strat you want to be using for this subcity and some of the other ones is that you want to try and get some movement in while you're bustering them. Like that guy, for example, you want to set up in position to be like roughly right here. Then you want to jump backwards. Like maybe once, maybe twice, so you can get some movement towards this direction where this guy came from. He was like over here somewhere. When you're dealing with him, you want to just like buster around like this. You want to get some extra movement in. And depending on his movement, you know, maybe jump backwards. And for this guy, same deal. Maybe jump backwards. Deal with him, kind of like that. So let's get this portion done all at once. So opening 5 to 6 shots. Pulling forward. Okay, now deal with this guy. Jump backwards for some free movement. Turn backwards. Alright, now deal with this guy. I'm going to turn. I'm going to circle strafe around him. Same with this guy. Get some good damage in. Jump backwards for that extra movement. Now for this, you kind of want to keep your aim centered on this guy. Can you see him? Right here, the walker. You want to get your aim focused on him. Don't look to the right a little bit too much or else your shot's going to get pulled up here to the antenna guy. So what you want to do is just keep your aim on him and then jump. And most of your shots might get pulled over to the antenna. They don't always do it. It gets a little bit tough. So another way you can do it that I think I've used in runs before is after you destroy the walker, go towards the buildings here and then jump, and those shots might land that way. So we got a couple of options, but either way you want to take out the walker and the antenna up there. So skate. You want to shoot at this guy, kind of go to the left, because that's your next destination. Take him down, turn around. There's going to be an antenna up here. Take that down. Run towards this guy while shooting at him. And then turn left, take out that antenna, and you're done. Grab the first key. Time to leave. Exits to the right. Alright, so now we're going to call roll. And then we're going to go to downtown. So up twice to fast travel, down once for downtown. Okay, and then we're going to quick turn to the left. Skate, here's Subcity number 2. Alright, so now for Subcity 2. This one can be pretty dangerous. It's going to be one of the times where you might want to use your energy canteen if you didn't use it for like Bruno or something. So this one is going to be a lot of running forward for increased DPS. So what you want to do is go up left and shoot these guys from long range. Shoot this hippo until he dies from going this direction. Now, alright, he's going to start dying right now. Now, this guy isn't always out here. Sometimes he's just back buried behind the buildings. But what you want to do after this guy starts dying is shoot at this guy until he knocks down once, and then circle around him to the left. Because then you'll get a good angle on this guy while shooting this guy down. I'll show you what I mean. Now, stuff like this, you'll just have to improvise a little bit, so circle around him. Okay, now, because this guy is over here, he's closer to us, he's a bigger priority and a bigger threat. Like this guy, he's always going to be over here. He's never going to move. He's always going to be in that spot. If you get within his visual range, yeah, he'll see you and probably shoot at you and go in your direction. But if this guy is closer to you, target him first and foremost. Sometimes he'll be running backwards and kind of be going towards this gray one in the back, but if he's anywhere closer to you than this guy, target him first. He's very dangerous. So get your running forward DPS, take him down. Now deal with the pink hippo. Now see, this whole subcity is just all about looking at your next target and setting up for the next one. So since I saw him over here, I set myself up to be somewhere in front of the hippo where I'm still hurting it, but having him in my vision. My next target in my vision. And then what's going to happen is, since that gray hippo is over here in the corner, I want to move myself so that I'm in between, so that this guy is in between me and the gray hippo over there. It's all about just seeing your next targets and just getting set up. And there you go. So this subcity can be pretty tough. There's a lot of RNG involved with like what pattern the pink hippos are going to get you, and the claw guys, they could be going anywhere because their movement pattern is very RNG, and they can be very dangerous if they sneak up on you. So be on the lookout for where they're at. And if they're not nearby, then they might be hidden behind some buildings somewhere. It can be a little bit tough. So let's do it again. Let's mix up the RNG a little bit. Let's try one more time. So, like I said, I'm going to go target this pink hippo first. Wait till he gets knocked down, then circle around him. Okay, now I can go this way. I see the next... See that? I see him in my vision. That means as soon as I'm done killing this guy, I'm gonna dart straight for him. And then I'm gonna set myself up, look at the pink hippo, and set myself up again to be making sure I hit, I guess, both of them. That's kind of neat. Don't see that pattern too often. And take him down. And there you go. So the pink guys with claws, the one that I shot at that was somewhere around here, sometimes he can be going down this direction. Sometimes he might even be walking over here in these buildings. You won't even see him right away. So if you don't see him, he's going to be in here somewhere. And then the other one that I shot that was over here, sometimes he'll be going in this direction. He might even go over here or over here. So you just have to really be on the lookout for the pink claw guys. All the big hippo dudes, they're going to be stationary most of the time. So you already know where they're all going to be at. The gray one at the beginning, if he's not immediately shooting at you, he's going to be wandering around somewhere over here. So just be on the lookout. After you take care of these two guys right here, just look around. If he's not immediately visible, he's over here somewhere. And then you look for the pink claw guy. If you don't see him, he's in those buildings. So deal with the hippo. And then see where either of the pink claw guys are. And then just, you have to improvise a little bit. You have to see where they're at. If this one's closer to you, focus on him. But if this one is in there and that one's over there, you know, chase this one down first. And then see where that one is. If he's anywhere close to you, focus him. If not, you know, go for the hippo and then go for him. So, yeah, this place has a lot of improv involved in it. So, you never know what's going to happen. You never know if you might just get totally destroyed by some dude sneaking up on you. So, be on the lookout. So, one more time. Get this guy down. Knock him down. Circle. See that? He's just chilling over there. Take him down. He's over there. He's going towards the building. So let's focus this hippo first. Let's take him down. He's trying to run away. And... Alright, this guy right here, the pink guy with the claws, he's a bigger threat right now. Even though the gray guy is shooting, you can just kind of jump and move around a little bit. But the claw guy is a much bigger threat. So take care of him first. He can hurt and do a lot of damage. So that's that subcity. It can be pretty dangerous, but as long as you know your target priority, it's not that bad. Now, you want to immediately skate to the right, but be careful. If you go too far into the street, speed police, you could run right to that cop car, so be careful. We're going to Uptown, and we're going to be doing Subcity number 3. Right in here. So this Subcity is pretty much just a mini-boss. And funny enough, on 64 is the easiest version of it. All the other versions have some health bar and cycle shot count shenanigans. What I'm going to do is just take care of that guy immediately. And as soon as this guy opens up, on any other version that's not 64, he's going to get hit by 1 shot or 3 shots. It's kind of RNG, but I think it's usually 1 shot. On 64, the entire fight is just 3 shots, so you don't have to pay attention to hardly anything I'm saying other than just shoot him in the butt for 3 shots every cycle and you're good. For any other version of the game you're running, well, pay attention. So you want to hold square and see how many shots you hit him with. If it's 1, then there's more stuff to go over. If it's 3, don't worry about it. 1? Okay. So because of the issues with this guy's health bar, he has... You can cut out 1 cycle of him moving around. And what we're going to try to do is try to total up to 9 shots for the first 2 segments of his body. So we got 1 shot in. If we want to take his segment of the body down in 2 more cycles, we have to land 4 hits. And usually you can't do that, but if you shoot slow enough, you can. But usually if you shoot 3 shots, he closes up. But if you pace those out well enough, you can hit him with 4. So what I'm going to do is shoot 1 shot and then 3, or 2 shots and then 2. It's kind of tough to time it, but you have 2 methods, so just pick one and go with it. I'll do 1 and then 3 first, and then I'll do 2 and 2. So you'll see what I mean. Let's go 1 and 3. 1, 1, 2, 3. And that is 1 cycle. And then now I'm going to do 2 and 2, and this should blow it up. Just like that. Because his health bar is so messed up on this version, or anyone that's not 64, we have to do this. So now that the first segment of his body blew up, we have to hold square and see how many shots it gets hit by. If this segment gets hit by 3, you don't have to worry about anything for the rest of the fight. Just hit him with 3, hold square the whole time. But if it's 1, then you do the same thing I just did. You want to do 2 more 4-shot cycles to save a cycle later. Let's see what we get. 1. So we have to do 2 4-shot cycles again. I want to do 1 and 3 like before. 1, 3. Let's try that again. 1. Okay. You kind of saw that the shot dinked, and I had to like quickly react and be like, okay, let's do 2 and 2. So depending on your positioning and your angle, you might mess up and have to just quickly improvise something. So either way, you want to try to do 4 hit cycles for the first 2 segments of his body. But now that those segments of his body are gone, it's just 3 hit cycles from here on out. So it's going to be a 1 hit. You can't do much about that. And now we just do 3 hits the whole way. Again, on 64, you don't have to worry about any of this. So if you want to make sure you're landing your shots consistently, just make sure you're lined up with him as centered as you can get. So 1 more shot. So he's going to take 1 more hit, but you got a couple of options. You can shoot 1 shot and then try to skate, or you can look straight up and try to throw a grenade so you get some early skating time, but that's a little bit risky. I'll try it, and I might not get it, but you'll see what I mean. Let's say now. So I got to start skating a little bit early because I used the grenade. Otherwise, you can just shoot 1 shot and then start moving. So the other thing to note about this boss is that when he gets to this spot right here, he's going to turn either right or left. The good RNG is right, which I got here in this tutorial, because the building we want to go to is this one. When he goes right, he's just looping all the way around it. Now if he goes left, he's going all the way around there, and he's going to die probably right around here. Well, it's a little bit slower. On 64, it's even more pronounced because like the fight is 1 cycle shorter on 64. So if you get left, he's going to be dying like over there. It's going to be an even bigger time loss on 64. So you always want him to go right. At least on normal and easy mode. On hard is different. But this ain't hard, this is easy. We get the last key. Leave. I'm going to call roll. And then we're going to fast travel the main gate. So fast travel, second from the bottom. Main gate, second from the bottom. So you go in it just like before. Now the main change is that you're going to go all the way down the spiral instead of out through the second door. So once you see that second door, you kind of want to stop skating in the middle of that particular hallway. And you're going to jump over a pair of shield guys so you're not going to be able to skate around. See, you got these single guys. They're easy to get around. See, here's the first door right here. Right here. And here's the second door. I'm going to go a little bit down the hallway and stop. Jump over them. Get around the corner first. There's going to be 1 guy. And around this corner right here. Stop. Jump over them. There you go. There's a little strat you can do where you forward cancel your landing to start skating sooner, but I think it's a little bit too complicated, so it's not a huge deal. It's a very, very small time save. So you can get a little bit of... You can get these baby jumps as you open these text boxes. You just like roll your thumb from circle to X, and you can get like free movement with each of these doors, and it's pretty neat. That scene with Juno. Yep. I'm going to save state here. So you want to just start skating right away. Now, you want to be careful around these corners. Like this particular corner, you want to go wide around it because that guy's there. And around this corner, same thing. You want to take it real wide. So I'll show you why. Like, you can kind of see why, but you gotta see it in action. So, go around it wide, turn sharp with your brakes, wide, there's the door. If you try to take those turns sharp, you're just gonna run right into one of those guys. And we got a couple things we can go over here. Like, how do you want to go about fighting the final boss? You want to be invincible for it, even if the setup is slow? Or you want to fight the boss in a way that's faster, but more risky and with a fair chance of death? Now, the reason why I ask is because if you want to be invincible, you gotta do a little bit of a glitch that you set up in this section of the map. So what you want to do is, as soon as you come in, go through this door, and you want to follow this path. Left turn, right turn, go straight, left turn, go around here. Now what you want to do is bait one of these guys to come in. It'll be a little bit finicky, but you just want to bait him to come in. Now, here's the thing. If you're playing on English, this is going to be even slower. So if I were you, if you're playing on English, I would leave this guy in here. Like, close this door. Don't let him come in. He kind of came in, so I can't do much about that. But what you would do is, if he was still stuck in that room, and if you're on English, talk to Data right now. Get rid of his text boxes, because there's so many. Like, there's so many more on English. Not just Japanese, there's some text boxes on English. There's a lot. So get rid of the text boxes, and then open the door and bait him in there with you. And I'll show you what the glitch is supposed to do. Let's bring another one in here. And we want him to get in here with us. Okay? Now, you want to do this from behind Data, because you want to be able to see this guy coming. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to talk to Data. Now, see this guy coming towards me? What you want to do is wait until he's like right on your screen, like right on top of you. Like maybe the shadow might disappear, or you might see him barely go off screen, or it's kind of vague. It's different. It's a little bit different every time. But what you want to do is wait for him to start blowing up on you, and then cancel this text box with Data. And if you did it right, you'll get airwalk and you'll be invincible. So let's try it. Just like that. I'm surprised that one worked, because that was a little bit early. But see, Mega Man's face is stuck. I'm walking around in the air, and I'm now invincible. So now I can fight both phases of Juno while being invincible. I can just ignore whatever the heck he's doing to me, and just sit there, hold lock on and square, and I win, pretty much. Now, there's a little bit of RNG involved with doing this glitch, because behavior of these guys is not really consistent. They only see from one side of their face. See this? They have eyes on both sides of their head, but I'm on his bad side. He can't see me. Which means when they see you and when they come into the room with you it's got a little bit of a variance. So you just got to keep that in mind. It's not always going to play out the same way, but if you're on Japanese, you just want to, like, as soon as you lure him into the room with you, just go backwards, talk to Data, get rid of the text boxes, and watch him come towards you, and as he's about to blow up on you, cancel it, and there you go. And that's the invincibility glitch. Now, you want to be careful with this, because if you, say, swap your buster parts, or change something about Mega Man's physical status, or change from your weapon to your kick or something, it'll get rid of the glitch. And if you roll like that, that also gets rid of the glitch. You're no longer invincible. So once you get the glitch, just don't do those things. Just, you can jump around, you can move around, just don't roll, and don't use any items or change any equipment. And that's how you do the fight, or that's how you set up the invincibility glitch. But if you're not going to do the invincibility glitch because the setup is kind of long, and you want to fight the boss faster, then just don't do it. Just go straight to the door and start the boss fight. Or you can, talk to Data and heal first, and then start the boss fight, but either way. That's how it's going to work. And now we'll go into the boss fight proper with both methods in mind. Alright, so let's go over how you fight the boss without the glitch. If you are doing the glitch, well, you don't have to pay too much attention to what I'm doing. You just lock on and shoot and he's done. So, the way this boss fight works, it's very RNG reliant. He has 5 different attacks, and he's going to be mixing up a main attack with 1 to however, God knows how many lesser attacks. So he's got 2 main laser attacks, one where he spins around and one where he throws them vertically. Then he's got the two lesser attacks, which are a ram and a jump. The jump, you know, when he lands, he causes a shockwave with some explosions. And then when he does the ram, you just have to run away from him. And he's got the middle attack where there's explosions in the middle, creates a shockwave, and then he finally appears. So you just want to keep in mind his attacks and that he's always going to do one to maybe a few to a bunch of lesser attacks, the jump and the ram, in between his laser attacks. And at the very start of the fight, he's going to open with one of those two lesser attacks first. So what I like to do at the very start of the fight, I like to aim upward, not too high, but just a little bit upward so that the shots are still hitting him. And if he chooses to jump, then my shots are going to be hitting him while he's in the air. And if I see that he's readying a ram, I just let go of R2 and I just shoot him. And when he's trying to ram at me, I just either roll to the side or I strafe to the side. It's not a big deal. Let's see what he does. Aim up a little bit. Okay, because I'm trying to pause the simulator so much, I'm gonna get hit. I'm probably not gonna avoid this, but in this situation, I would jump backwards, and then I would react to whatever else he's doing. Yeah, I got hit. So for this attack, let's say I actually jumped away from the jump attack, right? I would land, and what you can do to deal with this attack, at least not on 64. On this 64, it's freaking horrible. You can actually get close to him, like I'm doing right now, maybe even a little bit closer, and this laser will not hurt me whatsoever. I could just sit there in front of him and keep shooting him. Jump backwards. He's doing it again. So basically what you want to do is after every jump attack he does, run towards him and get yourself ready. Now, if you want a safer way to deal with this spinning lasers attack, you can kind of just keep your distance from him and then do like a high jump right when the lasers are about to hit you. And he can kind of rotate either this way or this way, and you kind of have to react to it and kind of land your jump in a direction that's away from the laser. So I recommend just getting good at the up close strat, but if you want to just be really safe about it, just stay away from him and try to, you know, time your jumps correctly. Let's see what else he does. Jump, so jump away, go forward again. Just keep doing this. Wow, he's very jumpy right now. So here's another thing. Whenever he teleports from a wall, he's going to be a little bit away from it. So if I turn around, he's going to be still quite close to me without having to turn my aim around too much. Okay, he's doing the middle attack, so let's just get some shots ready. Jump. See what he does. Ram. Okay, get away from it. Be right here. He sure loves the spinning lasers right now. I want him to do the vertical lasers so I can show you what to do there. He really, really likes the spinning lasers right now. Come on, Juno. Here. In the middle attack. Well, so basically, if he does the vertical lasers where he floats up a little bit and shoots his hands towards you with lasers that are just going straight up like this, then you can just run underneath him, and he's very simple, and he doesn't hurt you at all. It's much safer than the spinning laser. But another way you can deal with that is to just circle strafe around him like this if he does the spinning, the vertical lasers. You can kind of do this strat, honestly. Right? It's not optimal, it's not really fast, but it is safe. Like, you can do that. And you could just circle strafe. I'm trying to show you how to go fast, but you know what? We can try that. So, aim up, see what he does. Get a jump, so jump backwards. Now, if you really want to, I'll just circle strafe. This is not fast, but it works. This is, you know, it's the casual strat to circle strafe everything. It works. Jump, see what he does. Where the lasers go. Okay, this is very suboptimal, but it works. If you want to just beat the boss, you can do this. It's not hard. You just jump at the right moments. He might hit you occasionally with the spinning lasers, but like, yeah, this is how the fight is. So if he does the vertical lasers, maybe I can show you. No, whatever. Either way, just you want to just try to get up close to him, underneath him, and he is relatively harmless. And if ever he does a jump, just jump backwards. Whenever he's near a wall, you know, he's gonna be, you know, not too far from it. So he's Not that hard if you put in some practice, but if you want to be safe about it, you know, you can do this. This works. It's slow, but it works. Alright, so Juno 2, it's going to be the same kind of pattern, but instead of being close to the walls, you want to be away from the wall. The reason for that is because whenever he does his jump attack, he's going to jump 3 times, so he jumps towards you, and then he jumps a second time, and then the third time goes back to the middle of the stage. But that's only if you're close to a wall. If you're away from a wall, he'll just land from his first jump and not care about jumping 2 more times. So obviously, if he only jumps once instead of 3 times, you're going to be shooting at him more. You deal more damage, you save more time. So Juno 2, you want to stay away from the walls. You want to be in the middle of the stage as much as you can be. His attacks, you know, similar pattern. You got 2 mains, 2 lesser attacks, and a super. And the main attacks, he's going to be charging up a fireball he throws at you. You can just jump to avoid it. It's whatever, while circle strafing. And the other one is going to be a sweep attack where he sweeps fire streaks along the ground. You just jump to avoid that too. And then his jump attack, just keep moving. And his ram attack, you can roll or jump to the side depending on your orientation at the time. And the super, well, you've probably seen it. Charges up some lasers, shoots them in the air. There's a shockwave, and then you just circle strafe around him after that. Let's get into Juno 2. So you want to move forward a little bit, because your starting position is too close to a wall. So if he does a jump at the start, he's going to want a multi-jump. So just move forward a little bit, see what he does. Lock-on is kind of useful here. So the fireball, just circle strafe. If you want to jump that, you can. Easy peasy. I want to stay in the middle, like I just did. It's a sweep, so jump over it. I like to do the ram right now instead of the jump. Sweep. You're gonna jump here. Nope. Let's do a roll. Why not? And jump over that. And then, if he has a lot of HP by this point, just do this. You know, shoot at him. Not a big problem. Juno 2 is fairly easy. He just hits like a truck, so you just need to be careful. On easy mode, he's really not a hard boss. You just gotta be careful and be aware of when he might do what attack. He's never gonna do 2 main attacks in a row, so just be aware of that. But yeah, very simple boss fight. Now I'll show you how to do it with the invincibility glitch. It's even more of a joke. Alright, so here's how to do the fight with the invincibility glitch active. So for Juno 1, just stay near the wall. Easy peasy. So just like before, aim up a little bit. And you just sit here and hold lock on and shoot. He goes against the wall like that, just turn around. He's very simple. Turn around. That's a bad pattern. You don't want to see this attack ever, but he's very likely to do it. So lock on and square. If he does the ram attack, you know, just turn back around to face him when he teleports back in. And then for Juno 2, you can do something similar, just don't be near the wall. You'll be fine. If you want, like, not dealing with multi-jumps. And if he rams, you know, just have to keep your aim on him. Lock on does his job for you. Easy peasy. So doing the invincibility glitch setup is slow, but I recommend a newer runner to at least consider it because it makes the fight so easy and you just don't have to worry about it. It's mainly faster to not do it if you're more experienced because the fight becomes actually faster that way because of all that setup time. So, like, the fight itself is slower without it, but all that setup time just eats away at it. So an experienced player shouldn't do it, but a newer runner should because it's easy, it's safe. You know, you don't have to stress about very much. The only thing you have to stress about is the actual glitch setup. So, yeah. Now, at the very end here, the run's not over yet. You have to talk to roll. And right when you hit confirm, Now the run's over. That's when you can hit your timer. Everything's done. GG. That's how you speedrun Mega Man Legends on easy mode. Now, I did not go over Mind Skip. That'll be a separate video on its own and the routing implications from doing that skip. So, until then, this has been, you know, Mega Man Legends 8% easy tutorial. I hope you learned a lot. And if you want to see how Mind Skip works, stay tuned. Otherwise, you know, hope to see you doing some runs sometime soon. See ya.